Yo, what's up, YouTube? I'm back. Today's YouTube video is gonna be Kid Rock versus Limp Bizkit, aka Fred Durst. Now, these are two iconic figures that kind of got their rise in the late 1990s, but blew up in the 2000s and were a big deal in the 2000s in the music industry. Kid Rock's real name is Robert James. He actually has a long name. He actually has a middle name. And it was like around 97, 98 that Kid Rock put out a rap album. I know it's hard to believe, but he actually put out a rap album, and the rap album sucked. A lot of people were trying to figure out, why are you a guy from Detroit, Michigan, trying to put out a rap album? And a lot of people thought he was trying to be a rip-off of Eminem. I mean, the rap album wasn't that good and it wasn't that bad, but people hated the rap album. So his first album was a rap album. And this was like between 1997 and 1999. Then he put out his second album, which was him doing some hip-hop with some pop rock. And then that album just blew up out of nowhere. And then he put out this album called Devil Without a Cause. At that time, he had this short little midget guy named Josie that likes to smoke weed, and that solidified him as his wingman. And he would continue to do that as an act. You know, he would jump off the stage and into the crowd, and Kid Rock would be nodding his head, and then he would have classic songs like Yeah, I'm Cocky, and This Is How You Gonna Do to Back It Up, which became such a big hit. And then his best friend passed away right in the height of his career, right when things began to go good for Kid Rock. His best friend passed away and OD'd. So imagine it's taking you 5 years to get your name off the ground, and finally after 5 years of struggles, your best friend passes away right in the middle when it's time for you to make all these millions of dollars. So he would make a tribute song to his best friend, and then he would do back-to-back albums, which left him with 3 albums. And then finally by 2001, he did his 4th album, which you should already know when you hear them little girls in the background. We're here and back from the dead. Are you scared? He made the American Badass national anthem song for The Undertaker. And that was his 4th album at that point. And of course, when he did that, you know, he made that song, and that solidified him again. And then of course, you know, you go to rewards, and then you host, you know, WrestleMania, and then you pop up at the Super Bowl. And then he did some country songs, because a lot of people was like, Kid Rock make a country album. So then he made 5 albums. And then, of course, he made album number 6. And that was him talking about Americans being free. So he made 6 albums. And at this point, he's got like maybe 7 to 8 albums. And it's 2019. So Kid Rock has come a long way. You know, he went from doing rap to doing pop rock to hip hop to country. You know, taking different genres and mixing them in together. And then he's appeared in some movies, some television shows. You know, he's hosted some music TV shows. And he's pretty much been around for like 2 decades at this point. Because he's, you know, he started in the 90s. You know, he actually started earlier than 96, 97, but at that time he was in a band, and the band had a fallout. So when it got to 96, 97, that's when he tried to make his attempt to do rap music. And you could see throughout the years of his progression. Now, as for Fred Durst, he started his career off a little different. His career kind of took place in 1994, 1995, where he already put out his first album, and it did okay reception wise, but it wasn't what he expected. And he was a songwriter, so he ended up writing songs for people. The same problem that David Banner had. Believe it or not, Fred Durst had the same problem. Yeah, you can write music, but you can't sing it. and he didn't want to hear that. He constantly would go to different labels trying to get signed, and they just would not sign him, and he would go through 7 years of frustration. Yeah, we'll hire you to sign. We'll make you a ghostwriter, but you're not doing any singing, you're not doing any rapping. You just ain't got the skills. He didn't want to be told that, so he ended up proving the critics wrong. He wrote a second album. He got his band together and he wrote album number 2. And finally, one song on that second album got them some notoriety. And then right in the midst of album number 3, they really blew up big. Because he wrote this one song that was entitled to the Fast and Furious movie, Just One More Shot, one about your leadership. Fast and Furious, you've seen the first film? He actually did that. He actually wrote that song for that movie. It's gonna be my way or the highway. Someday you will see things my way. He did that. It became a smash hit. He was a made man after that. One damn song on album number 3, and all of a sudden he goes double platinum. Then here comes some hits. Keep rolling. Here come another damn hit. You're like, oh shit. Now he cranks out them hits. Now people are starting to like, damn, that's Slim Biscuit over there. Now, he did rock first, then he switched over and did hip hop. And then, of course, after them 2 songs, right in the middle of album number 4 with the group, this always happens, he decided he wanted to have his own solo album, and it caused the fallout with his band. So after doing 4 albums with the group, he did his album. Now, the album did okay, but it didn't really convince anybody that he could really do this by himself. And after, his first album didn't really do what he thought it should have done, he tried to put out another solo album. And then after 2 solo albums, when he saw this just wasn't going nowhere, he went back to songwriting. And then at this point, it was already 10 years later, and he went back to popping out album number 5 for the group. And then the group said yeah, and then now they're doing their 6th album, because it took years for the group to get past him trying to have 2 solo albums. They lost members, they had to recast, bring some new members in, and now it's 2019, and some people are saying he's gonna make a comeback, but we don't know if it's gonna be with hip-hop or rock or a combination of both. Now, when you ask who's better overall, I guess one could say it's probably Kid Rock, because he's had a longer longevity career. He's managed to somehow survive for 2 decades, and no matter what genre of music Kid Rock uses, he's able to captivate an imagination of an audience. Now, Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst can do the same thing. The problem is he's more known for solo acts in his song than actually being a legit artist. Now, he is a legit artist, but there was a period where no songs came out, no albums came out. And when some songs and albums did come out, you knew it was him, but the impact just wasn't the same. It's like it ain't the same Fred Durst. Them 2000s, he was really in your face. A lot of people were shocked that this guy was in his 30s doing this. So basically, yeah, we could look at Limp Bizkit as another DMX, basically, because DMX struggled for years before they even signed him. Kid Rock tried rap in the beginning and then went back to it and got accepted, where Fred Durst did it in the beginning, and people quite didn't want to, give him a chance. So I would say that this should actually be a tie, because both guys kind of took different genres and pieced them together. So I'm just telling you, I think it's Kid Rock. But then again, the real answer could be it's a tie. Until then, peace.